Duke 82, SMU 75. Welcome to another episode or another film session. Duke film breakdown against SMU Mustangs. SMU showed a valiant effort being without their best player against Duke. Shout out to Jaden Toombs. I think it's how you pronounce his last name. He was coming off the bench all year, slid into the starting rotation for SMU in this game at 23-7. And I think there's a couple of buckets that he has in this breakdown. But good job by SMU. Exploiting some weaknesses on Duke's defensive side as Duke again gives up, what they shoot, 57% from the field. Yeah, 30 of 53 SMU shot from the field, 30 of 53, 57%. But weirdly, Duke has turned teams over. They forced 21 turnovers in this game. Malik Brown got the start. Sarr did too, but it was Malik Brown's first start, and we'll get right into it.
The free throw line. I think this is a huge miss for the Mustangs.
And a turnover here defensively. Duke among the best in the country.
So Duke I don't know. Duke could might as well just start walk-ons if they were still called walk-ons in this day and age of basketball with how slow they start games. I don't know what it is. Like the five that started in this game were so good against Louisville, and Pat Gongla's been inconsistent all year as the starting center. And what does he do in this first game off the bench? He has a career high in this game. So I don't know. Maybe everybody should just come off the bench for Duke and produce. Here, we're 1 minute in. Kaden Boozer had 4 turnovers in this game. They all happened within the first 7 minutes of the first half. And here, he's throwing this to Malik Brown. Malik Brown's not expecting this because why do you throw a pass to your big man in transition? So Malik is thinking it's going to Caleb Foster because, again, you just don't throw that to the starting center for your team and just, boom, just goes right by Malik Brown's face. Malik Brown says it's his fault, but, I mean, you can't throw that pass to your center in transition. Duke had 0 transition points, by the way, in this game. 0. And they still scored 82 points, but kind of crazy.
Chance to win this game being shorthanded. Deron Pierre Jr. has to be prolific. Same with B.J. Edwards. 2 guys that can really impact the game with their scoring ability and off to a strong start to start.
First jumper on the way here by Toombs is going to knock.
So, yeah, there's Toombs right there. That makes Duke pay for the turnover. And look, Duke blitzes this ball screen. If you are a fan that were saying Duke needs to get out of drop coverage, you're just letting teams basically step into a 3. I hear you, but here when Duke blitzes the ball screen, Malik Brown's out here with Caleb Foster. Good job of blitzing, but SMU does a good job of dribbling out of it to where Kaden Boozer has to show to cement for just a little bit until Malik Brown can get back to his guy. But with Kaden Boozer kind of over-helping now, he probably needs to bounce back to his guy just a half a foot over to his left to be there for the contest. He's too far away for that contest. So now it's a catch-and-shoot 3 by SMU. And SMU exploited Duke's blitzing and also being like not in drop coverage, but also not blitzing, just kind of even with the roller. And here, Duke gets burned blitzing a ball screen early, and SMU went up 10-11-0 to start the game.
Offensively, SMU with their starting lineup, and as Jay Will says, they can score. They're getting about 90.
So, again, just a simple ball screen, and Duke gives up a 3. This time, that's what I was talking about. Kaden Boozer he is in drop, but he's not severely in drop coverage to where he's showing somewhat on the ball handler. But if I'm Caleb Foster here, I would want him to go over this. I want Caleb Foster to run the 3-point shooter off the line into Kaden Boozer because here, trying to go under this screen, that the roller could just bury Caleb Foster to the block if he wanted to with Caleb Foster trying to go under. But Caleb Foster fights through, but his angle is to the free throw line, so it allows the ball handler, to take a little step back, uncontested 3, and SMU's hot early.
Target is Edwards. He's 14 points a game.
His progression and maturity from the point guard spot, considering he's a game manager, is what could really take Duke to the next level. Good skip.
Yeah, it's Semenya in the corner. Knocks it down.
And look, Duke's key guy in the first half, outside the Sarr defensive performance he put on, Kaden Boozer. Kaden Boozer came off the bench and had maybe his best game of the season after starting the first the last few games, he comes off the bench and he has probably the best performance of his season, especially when Duke needed it the most in the first half with his scoring and facilitating. This is just a hell of a read. He picks up his dribble maybe a little too much, but finds that skip pass to Nick Haminia, and that's a beautiful, beautiful pass by Kaden Boozer.
To kick the ball to a corner for a quick three.
So Duke with an opportunity to tie this one up after a bit of a nightmarish start, but they didn't exactly panic. Boozer with a one-hander. Up and in by.
So they counted this as a miss by Kaden Boozer. I think that's a lob the whole way to Pat Gongba. I thought it was in the game as well, but it credited Kaden Boozer with the miss, Pat Gongba with an offensive rebound. But we'll start it right here. This is Duke's bread and butter of Isaiah going to set the screen, the bump screen, whatever, flare screen, or slipping for a flare basically to catch this. And SMU does a good job of eliminating Isaiah as the shooter here by having Kaden Boozer's defender lift up. So he lifts up as Isaiah Evans's defender shows at Cam Boozer to make him pick up the basketball. But now Isaiah's defender's got to run from Cam Boozer to Kaden Boozer, and that's just too far to run. And so pump fake, blow by, leads to a little, again, lob by Kaden Boozer. So a good job by Duke to go against SMU's defensive wrinkle here. I like the wrinkle by SMU, but here it just is too much movement too quickly by Duke's offense, and it burns SMU's defense there. And nice little play by Kaden Boozer to Pat Gongba.
Now into the fray here for Duke. Kaden Boozer handing off. I mentioned that Dame Sarr, the 6'8" freshman, got the start today. Great ball movement underneath and a foul.
Tell you what, Dame Sarr has made a couple plays in the last two games where he's starting to see the floor better. Here is just kind of the similar thing with Isaiah, where he's just going to bump Cam Boozer. It's going to confuse the hell out of me for some reason tonight of Cam and Cayden. Cam Boozer's defender. He's going to roll, dump off pass to Dame Sarr, and a really nice shovel pass immediately by Dame to Pat Gongba to draw a foul going to the line. Just a really good play by Dame. And Dame's offense is, he has shown flashes of it clicking, and Duke needs that with what he brings defensively. If he can continue to see the floor better on the offensive end and facilitate a little bit better, he's going to be a really nice piece for Duke late in this season.
Got it free to Gongba. He went up 25.
But I'll tell you, OB, I keep oscillating back and forth between who the #1 pick in the NBA draft is going to be when June comes around. Watching Darren Pearson play the other day against TCU, he was phenomenal.
Again, if Dame Sarr is doing this and he can not kill the offense on that side of the ball, like what he brings defensively here, I'm sorry, that was a mean screenshot, Dame. He just plays his ass off defensively. I mean, just goes through here, a nice adjustment by, I think it's BJ Edwards, to not go off that dribble handoff. And it looks like he has the mismatch with Cam Boozer. And then here comes Dame. You thought he was out of the play, gets back into the play, gets a deflection, a steal, and draws the foul. And this is the next possession.
SMU, but since then, Duke has dominated 14-2. And now they lead at 21-17. Mustangs need an answer. Again, playing without their #1 man, Boopy Miller, out with the flu. Edwards with a shot clock at 1. Knocked away by Sarr.
Like, the dude is a hound dog on defense. 2 straight possessions. The energy in Cameron's back where it needs to be after the slow start. And it's because of Dame Sarr. And then what does he do after 2 straight awesome defense possessions?
And look out. Duke is starting to grab momentum in a big way again. Knocked away in midcourt. Sprawling for a great play there by Sarr.
Package.
He goes 3 straight defense possessions, just swipes the ball, dives on the floor, gets the steal, throws him to Malik Brown. Malik Brown gets fouled and goes to the free throw line. Those 3 plays were massive for Duke to get that life that they needed to start with in the game. And so Dame had a great first half for Duke.
Okay, one of the most efficient players in all of college basketball. His net rating is higher than the past 5 National Player of the Year net ratings by 5 points.
Edwards up against Sarr, and that'll rattle home.
And BJ Edwards is a hell of a player. That's a hell of a shot. That's good defense by Dame Sarr. And that's just an offensive bag right there with BJ Edwards. Half spin, feet, nice fadeaway against a mini fadeaway against a tough defender. BJ Edwards has a game where he had triple-double this year. He's a hell of a player. I love SMU's backcourt when they're fully healthy, and that's just a really good shot by him.
After their great start, that has not been the case. Evans looking to penetrate on the spin. The kick for the open shooter. Sarr, he'll drill it from 3-point distance.
Again, Dame Sarr is giving you that production where he's a reliable corner specialist. That's big time. But here, this is an Isaiah Evans clip. He had a couple really nice clips in this game, but here's the first one. Just spin off of that, balance, finds the open shooter, and then just taunting the SMU bench after the made three. And look, Duke's filling themselves, but they got to get stops after they are filling themselves on the offensive end. But there, as you see, as we're about to start this clip, SMU goes down and scores to make it 32-25, I think.
They're very impressed with SMU without their best player finding a way to stay in this game, and it all started with a strong start.
2 says 10, but a quick answer.
Like, if Dame Sarr can just do that, just be a three-point specialist and do what he does defensively, he has a significant role on this team.
Sarr continues to have it.
I say three-point specialist, a corner specialist, because I think he's only made 1 or 2 threes all year when it's not in the corner. So strictly three-point specialist.
They've stayed connected here.
A centerpiece for Andy Enfield, a top 40 recruit, one of the highest rated freshman classes in program history, and he is showing why today.
Out of dynamic prep outside Irving, Texas. So about 5-second split between a shot and game clock.
This is where you see Duke invert the ball screen, a guard screening for a big.
Just a great poster by Kaden Boozer. Nice, simple set by Coach Sarr to where Darren Harris does a really good job of actually making contact this time and setting the screen for Kaden Boozer. And SMU is not switching this. They're trying to fight through this screen because they thought it was going to be a tag screen just like the others have been in the first half with Isaiah Evans and Dame Sarr that you've seen. But there, Darren Harris makes full contact, allows Kaden Boozer to get a straight line drive and flushes it.
But they forgot about number 12. And Kaden Boozer, no one picked him up. 9 points for him off the slam. Way downtown. And
but here, you got to finish the half strong, boys. Got to finish the half strong. Against SMU, against Louisville, Isaiah hit the three. Maybe went a little too early. I think Sarr even alluded to that in their half-game speech. But then Duke didn't get a stop on the defensive end after Isaiah hit the three where they allowed an offensive rebound putback and SMU scored. Here, Duke has 5 fouls as a team. Look at the bottom of the screen. Sarr is saying foul. He's telling Jimenez to foul. And the whole staff is trying to tell him to foul. But Jimenez is not going to foul. SMU hits the three. Sarr is pissed. And I'm sitting there right above the E in Duke basketball, and I watch the exchange of John Sarr as, again, he's still furious, and he's going to walk up to Jimenez as they're going to the locker room and would basically just tell him, in a very polite and kind way to foul right there.
That's Pierre.
Deep down, he knew we were probably going to see Maryland a couple more times.
Oh, yeah.
And, at the end of that game, he said, none of you guys celebrate.
Telling you, Isaiah has reached some sort of next level with his game. So far in the ACC, he is averaging over 20 points a game, maybe even 22 points per game in ACC play. And they're just one of a very few handful of players can make that type of three, and Isaiah is definitely one of them.
To see, but really drove you guys. Really drove your team. As gifted as you were, there was no layup on that team.
Well, yeah, we had a sheer extension of Coach K on the floor in bat. And then, I was able to get hot a couple of times, and Shane was able to keep me on the guardrail.
Again, he loves that dribble to the right. He loves the pump fake, or when he does pump fake, he's going to the right. Pump fake, slide by, three, in your face. We'll go back just a little bit further to see the whole play. Duke does a good job of clearing out to where it is simply Malik Brown and Isaiah Evans' world on the left side of the floor. Dame is going to go crowd the corner. Kaden Boozer is going to lift up a little bit just to get out of the way so Malik Brown can set this screen again in the middle of the floor so Isaiah Evans literally has half the floor to himself. And SMU knows it, so going to just go right by a little bit on that pump fake by Isaiah, just ever so slightly, and Isaiah makes SMU pay. Just little sidestep, mouth, 3 points for Duke.
Feeling it. Open a 2001 bottle of Schaefer last night in Coach K's wine cellar.
Oh, Coach K knows
That's
what he's
luxury.
doing. He knows what he's doing.
That's luxury.
Let me tell you about Jay Will, though. Jay Will was an amazing teammate. You know, as talented as he was just one of the best teammates that we had.
Washington really what he wanted in the lane.
So Duke, we have all known outside of the Louisville game, when Duke goes up double figures in a game against a really good team, the other team always seems to come back from that. And it's always self-inflicted. Like, SMU's a really good team, but Duke just played bad basketball here for a little bit of just carelessness. Like here, Dame, this is such a long pass. The defender is in the middle of Dame and Kaden Boozer here. Like, this is an awful decision. And you're throwing it backwards that far away. You've got to dribble closer to Kaden Boozer. SMU gets the steal, and I'm pretty sure SMU scores right here. Maybe they don't, but regardless, it was a foul by Dame. That's what it was. Foul by Dame. So now, you know, it was a 12-point game, and now this possession here is going to be a 9-point game, and Duke's just giving the ball to the other team. Like, they had 13 turnovers, which is a lot. But when they make turnovers, they're loud turnovers, it seems like, in these type of instances.
And he has 6 points. So 47-38. Duke has been trying to break away several times as we visit with the great Shane Battier and Jay Will, of course, the heart and soul of the national champs in 2001. Switched in.
Again, when you need him, Kaden Boozer's played huge in this game. Great performance by Cayden. His three-point shot, still a little funky, looks better, and it's going in a lot more than it did in the first part of the season. Here, just a really good play by Cayden to just cut away to the corner. Look at, I think BJ Edwards is guarding him here. BJ Edwards is just focused on Kaden Boozer to see if he's going to do something with Dame. It looks like a ball screen with Dame. BJ Edwards is thinking Cayden is going to be on the left wing. So he's like, all right, I am playing my gap and my guy is beside me. He has no idea Cayden just cut to the corner. Like, he reaches and then he's like, oh, shit. There's my guy wide open, and Duke makes him pay.
By Cayden.
Themselves engaged in the impact of the game.
Sarr lines up a long one, but that clangs away. And Washington out of the pack with it. Trying to cut in. Pierre with the drive will lay it in.
So Dame only played 7 minutes, I think, in the second half. And this was the sequence I was alluding to when I said on Twitter he had a tough sequence. The time that Duke didn't need it. And this three, again, when he gets a feel for the offense of just like the flow of the game on the offensive end, like, he can be really something for this Duke team to go along with this defense. But here, there's 26 seconds left on the shot clock, now 25. He's made one, if not two, of these threes all year that's not in the corner. This is a rush shot, up 12, run something. It's a clank. Shire's already pissed with that. You see his body language. He's upset with it, yelling. And Dame has 3 fouls in this instance too, by the way. So he's not going to try and contest this to pick up a fourth, but you gotta be aggressive a little bit to make the guy pick up his dribble and not have a clear path for a takeoff. Like, slide over one more step. Instead, it's a straight line drive. Shire yells timeout, and he goes after, challenges Dame out of that timeout or during that timeout. And I don't think Dame's in now. He gets subbed out by Nick Kamenia at the under 16 timeout. So it's a lesson to be learned, and it's a film. Look, it's a film review. I'm showing you guys, but Duke definitely knows. And so it's just something to keep an eye on.
With us in the first half about how they click, and they're doing it again today.
Well, 4 state titles, 3 EYBL championships, and 2 gold medals I think when you have those types of experiences together, it helps with your rapport on the court.
Semenya will drive it. Shot clock inside 10 as he slams on the brakes. Kaden Boozer again. Gets another one.
Again, Kaden Boozer comes up big when Duke needs a play. And just great ball movement in this whole possession. But Kaden Boozer, he's so damn good with his vision. Like, let me go back just further from this because this was a little longer. So out of the timeout, out of the under 16, let's give it to our best player to go make a play. SMU, Big Samet is in between Cam and his boy Pat. Nick Aminia's guy is hugging Pat, so trying to eliminate any possibility of a lob. So with that, right when Nick's guy gets on the backside of Pat Gungba, it's almost immediate Cam Boozer makes this pass. Now SMU's off balance. Caleb Foster's guy going to Nick. So now Nick's defender has to go to Caleb. Caleb swings it. Duke's still swinging it. And now again, helping on Cam Boozer hurts SMU here because Cayden does such a good job of moving without the basketball. His defender crowds Cam, loses Cayden. Cayden finds the open shooter, and now it's just drive and replace. Nick Kaminia is driving. Kaden Boozer's replacing. Two defenders on Nick Kaminia driving the ball, and then the kick out to Kaden Boozer for the open three. Great basketball by Duke. Duke's up 13.
Their top player and one of the best players in the conference coming to Cameron Indoor, and they got off to an 11-0 start in this game. Down the lane, Washington left it short, got it back. Tough ankle draw.
But again, Duke's up 13. Now they're only up 7, and then just a bad turnover of Pat Gungba here. Like, had a career high, but bounce passing through out of a triple team, and it gets deflected, and SMU goes the other way. Like, it's just not the right play, obviously. And a 7-point game, and now SMU gets fouled and goes to the line with the potential to cut it to 5. It's just not good basketball right there.
For the Badgers, out of the timeout, Evans, that barely nicked the 10.
You think Miami has a chance against Indiana? I mean, they have just been smacking people in the CFP. It's unbelievable.
Now, Miami's so physical, but they're going to have a lot of things go right to hang in that game. Indiana does everything to perfection. Toombs again.
So Toombs, like I said, great game by the freshman, career high. I thought Isaiah's 3 on that baseline out of bounds was a little rushed. And again, not the shot Duke probably needed in that moment because now SMU gets the stop they need and they get a quick 2 points, finding the guy that was crushing Duke's front court, and that's Jaden Toombs. He does a really good job here of he's playing the dunker spot so well, just following the basketball, guard screen on the perimeter for SMU, so it allows a skip pass from Samet to, again, I think that's BJ Edwards. And right when that guard catches it, look at Toombs just move. When the ball is in the air, he's basically starting his movement, and he is going to seal off Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer's looking at the ball, not filling on his offensive player. Buried. That is great offensive basketball. Like, that is not the best defense for Duke, obviously, but Jaden Toombs has a really good feel for the game as a freshman, and this is special. That's special. Really good play by him. A lot of stock in that kid.
School getting underway here on the Duke campus on Monday, so the Crazies returning to this weekend game against also a nationally ranked opponent, SMU number 24, Gungba. Yes.
And so next clip is Pat Gungba doing what Toombs did so well right there, where he's initiating the seal spot on Samet. And look, Samet, as good as he can be offensively, he has dealt with foul trouble, it seems like, his whole career at SMU. 7 straight games last year where he had four fouls straight, and one of those games was Duke at SMU last year. So my factor in this game for Duke was going at the big fella, and Pat Gungba went after him in this stretch in the second half and had really good production for Duke. A lot of physicality there. Gets shoved. Nice little shove in the ribs. Great touch by Pat. Should have probably been a 3-point play, but Pat's ability to play through that contact just shows how good he can be. And then look, SMU comes roaring back, 69-60. Now it's 69-66. And now SMU's going zone.
69-66 coming up on 4 minutes to go. Kaden Boozer for Gungba. Into that.
And so Pat gets fouled, going to the line because Duke's in the now will be in the double bonus. But again, SMU has to reach here, or feels like the guards feel like they have to reach right here because Pat Gungba has dominated this one-on-one matchup to where they are trying to help out their big fella. And by doing that, they get over-aggressive on the reach in and swipe Pat Gungba's wrist. Pat Gungba goes to the line and hits 2 free throws.
Minutes to go. It is a 3-point game at Cameron Indoor.
Again, zone defense, and I think Shire, they call it circle, and that's what Duke basically ran anytime SMU was in zone in this last 4-minute stretch here.
Tiller did a great job there sealing Gungba, opening in that lane for a drive.
And who do they go after, right? Like, it's basketball for the most part is not rocket science, all right? It's just everything's matchup based for the most part here in timing. And here's great timing by Duke. Just Isaiah Evans is going to the opposite from one corner to the next, and then there is just a hole in the zone right there, and Caleb Foster exploits it right away, throws it to the big fella, and Cam Boozer just goes right through the chest of Big Cement for SMU.
Duke has been unable to break away today. SMU as sticky as it gets. Here's Evans. Got it!
And the final clip is Isaiah Evans shooting a clip. And this is just what has been the success for Duke this year, this simple action. We saw it in the first half that led to a lob. Again, I'm calling it a lob to Pat Gungba by Kaden Boozer because he was open in the corner. Here, SMU doesn't gamble on Isaiah Evans. Caleb Foster's defender stays more put rather than being aggressive and showing to Isaiah Evans. So Isaiah catches it, shows a little too late, bottoms. Same clip that Duke ran, same action Duke ran against Kansas to get a 3 right before the first half ended. The game winner against Florida, the 3-pointer that he got fouled on at Michigan State, and now here against SMU. 1 possession game with about a minute left. Give it to the best shooter to make a play. He does that, and just great job by Isaiah Evans. Continue to come through in the clutch, and just really good basketball by Shire of giving his 2 best offensive weapons the chance to go make a play with Cam Boozer and Isaiah Evans. So, look, it was a grinding of a game, grinder of a game for Duke, 82-75. SMU is a good ball club. Like I said, really good backcourt. Bippy Miller, get healthy because I like watching you play ball. And now Duke goes out to the West Coast. And so I'll have a film breakdown for those games. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.